2 more goals for Cole Palmer. What a 2024 he is having, both of them from 12 yards. And, Dan, that was quite a game in North London tonight. Yeah,
crazy game. I think we were just sat watching it, couldn't believe what I was saying. But I think when we spoke before the game, both teams are so good going forward that they were going to cause each other problems. And I thought when Chelsea sorted at half-time, they probably... Chelsea's mistakes probably was a lot of Tottenham's chances, and I think once Chelsea changed a little bit, the second half, they went to that back three, Cucurella pushing in, they controlled the game a lot more and looked comfortable.
Is there any point looking at the defensive aspect of that game?
I think you should always just look at the attacking from that. I think there were so many chances there, especially Palmer. I think Palmer was brilliant. Little touches he makes, he always seems to make the right pass. Just so composed.
In fact, Ian, it's the result or the type of performance that many of us were expecting, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, we spoke about the defences at the start of the show, and now, you know, even Chelsea winning 8-0 the other day, still giving up 15 shots. You know, even against Southampton, still giving up chances for people to score. But I feel like Dan says, I think that today's came down to just like Chelsea's mistakes. If they were like a lot tighter and a lot more professional about how they're playing, like we talked about Badashile giving it to Colwell, and then he kind of... If they tighten up on that, then you'd like to think that they're going to be a little bit sharp with what they're doing. Did
it further cement what we already knew going into this game? Chelsea got some real momentum, and Spurs, well, they're all over the place, Glenn.
Yeah, they are all over. But Chelsea... They've got individuals there. They've got competition for places. All them players, the good players, they're looking over their shoulder. They can't afford to come off their form. That's a great position to be as a manager. And if one's playing, they took Palmer off, they've got Felix coming on, who's a really good international player. You know, that's just one example, but they've got that all over the pitch. Now, what that does is that forces consistency, because you're saying, I've got to perform again. It's probably only Palmer that could probably go, if I have a couple of bad games, I'm not going to be dropped. But the rest, they're all at it. Every single game, they're at it. And whether they like it or not, they're in the title race. They keep playing that down, but they're in the title race.
It seems like a long, long time ago, but it was Tottenham who scored their quickest Premier League goal against Chelsea. 4 minutes and 45 in, they were 1-0 up.
Yeah, well, they started on the front foot. That's what you want in a London derby against Chelsea. They really went for the throat. You know, you see Solanke's work here. He's pressed already 1 or 2. There's a mistake, as Dan said. It was mistakes that were coming out of Chelsea. And Spurs, actually, on the early stages, punished them. That's a really good goal. It really is. Look at the hard work he's put in there. He gets his just rewards. He presses twice. They press together there, they go together, last man slips, and now it's, can you punish? And Brennan Johnson picks out a lovely little ball into that near post. That's a really good finish, isn't it, Ian?
You know, the thing, when you look at it again, it's so poor from Chelsea, and that if they sharpen themselves up in that instance, then that doesn't happen. The passes were poor, and then Cucurella slipped. But the ease movement made that goal. It was fantastic movement from him.
It was only, 6 minutes later, they doubled their lead, and Marco Correa, unfortunately, from a Chelsea perspective, involved again here, Dan.
Yeah, slips. Obviously wasn't happy with his footwear, but same sort of things we spoke about. I think, as I said, it comes from a Chelsea mistake, and it surprises because, especially that first one, that's all Tottenham want you to do. They want you to go backwards so that they can put that pressure on you. They've got that high line, and you just thought that first half Chelsea would have tried to expose that a little bit more. It was a great finish from Kulusevski. Great finish.
It's really top finish, this, isn't it? He knows what he's doing, through the legs, back across the keeper. And there's the slip. Get those boots changed. And that's the clever bit there, through the legs. He knows exactly, drives it into that bottom corner. Really good finish. Look, happy days. Everyone in that stadium with Spurs supporters are happy, apart from Cucurella, who throws his boots away. But at the end of the day, it's how you want to start. Now you've got to think, right, we're 2-0 up. What do we do next? But it's the Spurs way, it's Ange's way. We keep playing the same way. And in the end, Chelsea... Because Chelsea had chances, actually, in the first half as well.
What did you make of that boot fiasco?
Well, it does make sense to me, because obviously the warm-up is about testing the boots, how the boot's going to be OK. But you saw how he slipped, and it was like proper slips. It's not, you know, look. It's like he's got moulded on, you know, in this weather. You know, and then he's blaming, when he took them off, he's throwing them like it's the boots' fault.
Yeah.
What should have been happening is during the warm-up, he should be testing. Oh, he's feeling a little bit slipped, and then you change him. Yeah. No defender should be wearing studs that are going to give you that opportunity to fall over. None.
No. OK. Well, I tell you what. Let's get some post-match reaction. I'm delighted to say Jadon Sancho of Chelsea joins us now from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Jadon, thanks for joining us tonight. Well done this evening. I mean, what a comeback win in the end.
First of all, thank you for having me. Yeah, what can I say? It was a great win, a great comeback, and we're just delighted with the 3 points.
2-0 down after 11 minutes. What are you thinking?
To be fair, I have a lot of trust in this squad, so I wasn't too fazed. And once we got the first goal back, I knew it would come back and get a result.
Can you talk us through your goal, if you don't mind?
Well, yeah, it was a 1v1, and I saw the opportunity to cut inside. And then I just thought, why not? Why not shoot? In training recently, I've been working on my shooting, so I'm just delighted that I came off today.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those with very little backlift. Is that a technique you're trying to master?
Yeah, definitely. Just in training, I've just been working on hitting the far corner, so I'm very delighted.
Jadon, Ian Wright. Jadon, I just want to say to you, what has the manager said to you? Coming here on loan and playing, you're getting yourself playing. You seem to be back to the Jadon Sancho we know. You know, the touches were great. You know, nutmegging people, doing your stuff, scoring goals. What's the manager say to you?
From the very first day, they've made me feel welcome, and you know I have a lot of people to prove wrong, and I'm just day by day. I'm working hard every day in training, and you know once I get my opportunity, I just try to show what I can do. So today, you know, I'm happy that I scored and got the 3 points for the team.
Nice.
Actually, it's the first time you've scored in successive Premier League games. I mean, do you think we're starting to see the best of Jadon Sancho now?
Again, I'm just taking it game by game. Hopefully, I can continue this form. And but yeah, again, I've got to say thank you to the whole Chelsea team and the staff for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to play.
Nice.
As an attacking force, I mean, Chelsea are going to need some stopping. You've got some real momentum, some real talent in there, not least Cole Palmer. Talk to us about the way he took that second penalty.
Well, yeah, he always does these type of things in training, so I'm kind of not surprised that how he took this second goal of his.
You can't help but smile when you see it, right?
No, for sure. It's just because we see it all the time in training. So you know, again, I'm just very happy for him to get the second goal and you know to secure the 3 points.
In the last few days, in the wake of the Southampton win, Endo Maresca and Cole himself have been playing down your title chances. But the more you continue to win, the more you're going to be in the conversation. So surely that's got to be in your thinking at some point.
Well, definitely after tonight, it's not in our thinking at all. Again, we're going to take it game by game. It's still early in the season, so anything can happen. So, you know, we're just glad that we got the 3 points and on to Brentford next week.
So tell me then, finally, Jadon, what would be a good season for Chelsea?
Just keep winning. What can I say? Again, I can't get carried away because it's still early on in the season, but we're very delighted with the 3 points.
It's really good seeing you back in form. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Man.
Thank you guys for having me. Take care.
Tell Cucurella to sort his boots out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry. That's definitely going to be part of the conversation in training.
Cheers, Jadon.
Take care, guys.
Jadon Sancho on the score sheet for Chelsea. It looks like he's really enjoying himself again.
Yeah, you can see the way he's playing. You know, he's got a lot of his confidence. His head's up. He's like I say, he's going past people. He's scoring goals. You know, somebody who's on loan, and like you mentioned there, he's got a lot of people to prove wrong. And, you know, he's working very, very hard in training. And that's the way you do it. That's what you've got to do. You've got to show the people you're still capable.
Well, let's go back to the game itself, into the second half. The first of Cole Palmer's 2 penalties. At this point, Glenn, actually, it looked like Spurs had lost all discipline.
They were on the back foot, weren't they? Chelsea come out, reshaped. This is a dreadful...
Terrible challenge.
Terrible challenge. Look, you know straight away, look, Basuma, he goes on the floor. There's the little ball, look, from Jadon there. Just a lovely little ball in. And Caicedo's going, come and tackle me. Ex-players together at Brighton. Boom, look. And he's just clipped him. It's such a... Well, there's no defence. He knows that as well. And this kid don't miss from the spot, does he? He really doesn't.
That's a good one as well.
Yeah,
side net.
Yeah. 11 out of 11 from 12 yards at that point. And obviously that's only going to get better, but there's nothing you can do, right, as a goalkeeper in that situation.
Just got to be lucky and guess the right way, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
even that one there, with the size of Fraser, he's going to struggle to get that one.
Yeah.
It's right in the corner.
Yeah. Enzo Fernandez, wasn't that long ago, he was having a bit of an up and down time at Chelsea, but it feels like he's getting a little bit of confidence back in his game, Glenn.
I think they've released him a little bit more. He's not playing in that deep position, because when Caicedo, second half, went in there as well, he's allowed to get in and around the penalty area where he actually finishes. This is a really good finish. I'll tell you why. He's been pressed a little bit, it's been close, but if you watch again, the ball is spinning. Great play from Palmer again, teasing players, taking them on, going down the wing, Noel, come inside on the left, so sharp. Suddenly went up a gear, didn't he? Went up a gear.
Amazing.
Porro, he might have done better there, but if we watch it from this way, for me, it's reading the spin, because the ball's coming at him off there, off Van der Ven, the spin's going round.
And it's a wet surface, Glenn.
Yeah, no, he's cut across that beautifully. No chance for Forster.
It's just, you just look at it, like Palmer's got them dancing, they're spinning, they're all over the place. Where he was on the line. He's ended up in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Obviously got the deflection that went to Enzo, but it's just a brilliant play. Fantastic play.
3-2 at that point, and then we get another penalty. Matassar was involved in this one.
It's even worse.
Yeah, I think...
But what was he thinking here?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. I think you see, obviously, it gets to the point where he pushes him over, but he's going away from goal the whole time. You just got to keep sending him out wide and let him come back in. He's just way too keen, and Palmer knows exactly what's coming. He gets his body in front of it. He takes it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, no, definitely not. And then when you see it again, it was absolute stone wall, wasn't it?
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you look... Those are the things that your manager looks at and you think, well, what am I going to say about that? A professional football make a challenge like that. That's fantastic.
That's class.
So it's so slow that Forster could probably get down there.
If he spun round there, I think, Dan, he could probably...
That shot there is quite something.
So if he spun round, he could have maybe caught it.
It's not even hit the back of the... Well, it's only then hit the back of the net.
I feel a bit bad for Forster, because I thought he had a really good game.
Yeah, he did. He made a couple of very good saves.
Big saves, and he still conceded 4 goals.
That's the problem Spurs he's had to make. In Vicario, they have to make big saves in every game they play it. We covered them in the week, didn't we, against Bournemouth?
We did, yeah.
Forster made some great saves, and he did against Roma. And every game, there's too many chances being created against Tottenham.
1 win in 7 now for Spurs in all competitions, and the pressure remains on their head coach. Let's get his thoughts. Here's Ange Postecoglou.
Well, Ange, with an afternoon that did start so well, are you scratching your head at how you come away from that empty-handed?
Yeah, look, it's a sore one for sure. It's painful. Yeah, we started the game really well. Then we lose Romero. It's kind of nothing's run smoothly for us. We have to reshuffle, and then they sort of get a goal in that moment. I still thought we had some big moments to get a third and sort of finish the game off. And then, second half was a bit of a ding-dong for quite a while. They obviously scored, but then we had a big chance at 2-2 with Sonny. Swing the game our way, and then we don't take it. And then, 2 penalties weren't great from our behalf. Just a bit more discipline in the box.
And just to rewind on what you said there, so for you, is it quite a key moment losing Romero at the point you did? And I just wondered if you could give us a bit more detail there on what happened exactly.
Yeah, I think it's a key point when you lose a player in the first 20 minutes when you started well, especially a centre-back. So, he felt something in his quad, so, he couldn't continue. That's not ideal.
It's the second time you've had a 2-goal lead. You did against Brighton. Are there any comparisons to be made between the two? You said last time against Bournemouth that perhaps your team were giving them a leg up. Can you see again any similarities between this midweek performance and today as well?
No, nothing. Absolutely zero with midweek. We didn't play well at all midweek, but we played well today. They're a good side. Fair play to them. They're a top team, and as I said, we kind of got disrupted a little bit in key moments, and I think in the end the key moments sort of decided the game.
Those key moments, going forward, if you are now to try and find a way to get back on the right path, what will be your takeaways from this?
I guess just, realise, when we are playing our football, we're tough to stop, but we still got to maintain some discipline. Like I said, I thought the 2 penalties we gave away were poor. No need, and game was still in the balance. Like I said, we had the best chance at 2-2 before those penalties to go 3-2 up. So, when you're playing top teams, these kind of momentum shifts happen pretty quickly.
On the subject of discipline, there were 2 red cards in this fixture last year. In the first half, were you expecting any to be given, particularly with that incident first with Caicedo on Sarr?
I didn't. I haven't seen obviously the replays. From what they tell me, wasn't great. I thought a couple of decisions were a bit poor. I thought one of the linesmen made when Decky was through was ridiculous because again, pivotal moments in the game. But what we can do, we've got to just accept it and move on.
We've spoken about Romero, who came back today. Likewise, Mickey van der Ven was back in the fold. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's anything. He felt a bit tight, and to be honest, the plan was only to play him sort of 60 or 70 a day. But obviously, losing Romero, which he was the one that was going well, sort of hamstrung us a little bit because we didn't have any other centre backs. So hopefully not too bad. But it was good to have him out there. You can see the difference. Like I said, I think the first 20 minutes of the game, we had Romero and Mickey out there. We looked a strong team.
With us edging towards January, you mentioned you've got Ben Davies out as well. Is it going to be a big area of focus, trying to source centre halves with the situation that you are in?
Well, it depends. I'm hoping Romero's not too bad, and we've still got to find out sort of the extent of Benny's injury. But look, we're obviously thin on numbers now, and as I've said, if we're still thin on numbers in January, we'll be looking to sort of add a little bit to the squad because I think they need some help.
All right. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, let's get the views of a former Spurs player and manager. Tim Sherwood joins us now from North London. Tim, good to see you.
How you doing, guys?
How do you reflect on that tonight?
Well, obviously it was a good start, but the start was created from 2 mistakes. Cucurella slips over twice. I'll tell you, at half-time here, and I felt like Chelsea were going to win the game, 2-0 down. And I think the crowd did as well. I just felt like there was a negativity amongst the punters, and they were just waiting for it to happen. And eventually it did. Sancho scores a brilliant goal when he cuts in, smashes it into the bottom corner, and I just felt it was just going to come. And I really believed that the fans around here felt the same.
Do you think that relationship now between the fans and the manager is at a low right now?
Well, I don't know. I think it's a mix. A lot of people wanted to be entertained. The last 3 Tottenham managers haven't been doing that to them, and Ange Postecoglou delivers that. You don't let anyone down on that front. Unfortunately, the highs are so high and the lows are a little bit too low. There's no happy medium there, and negativity is in the results. If they was to win that game today, I know it's if, buts and maybes, but they would have gone 4 points off the top 4, which would surely have been the objective at the start of the season. So it's not the end of the world, but it's a tough moment for them, especially when you're losing a derby after being 2-0 up to Chelsea.
Tim, Glenn here.
Hi, Glenn.
From where we're sitting here in the studio watching the game, you're at the stadium. They just look so easy to play against Tottenham. Yeah. Would you agree?
I think they played on, obviously it was the 2 mistakes where they scored their goals, but it looked like waiting for moments. Kulusevski looks like he's a threat every time he gets the ball. Son, he's capable of doing something. I just felt, when you're here, Glenn, you just look at the Chelsea side. It was balanced, and dragging people over one side, getting in down the other, penetrating down the sides. They've got 1v1 merchants all over the pitch. They've got Cucurella, I think now Enzo and Palmer's obviously top draw players, pushed them forward. Looks like they're playing 2 10s in there, really difficult to pick up, getting in the pockets. And Jackson is a nuisance, he's a real threat. And I think without the mistakes, probably, and I thought they got sloppy towards the end of the game when they conceded again, Chelsea. The only thing, I think they're in the title race. Obviously, you're in the title race, but the only thing that worries me is the goalkeeper. I don't think you can win the Premier League without a decent goalkeeper, and I'm not sure Sanchez is top draw.
Tim, since beating Manchester City, when you look back at that result, it feels like an outlier. Yeah. Are you surprised at just how quickly the optimism has evaporated since that day? That was only 2 weeks ago.
I think it can come back, Manish. As quick as it goes away with these Tottenham fans, it can come back. And it's not just Tottenham fans, it's fans in general. You get a result here today. If they would have gone on and won 3 or 4-0, all of a sudden, like I say, 4 points off the top 4, everyone's lifted and the morale is higher yet again. So still very tight. And the objective is to finish in Champions League football. And they're still capable of doing that. But Tottenham can beat anyone on a day, but unfortunately they can lose to anyone.
Yeah. Finally, 2 big calls made by Ange with his 2 centre-halves.
Yeah.
You could say they're backfired because obviously they had to come off with knocks. we're not quite sure how bad they are. Was it a gamble worth taking for you?
It's needs must. I think when Ben Davies gets injured as well, he's over to Dragusin's the only centre-half he's got, really. So if they declare themselves fit, it's individuals, really. I mean, you obviously asked your coaching team and your medical team how they are, but I mean, the guys that tell you who have played, no one knows your body better than yourself. And you're always going to offer yourself to the manager and say, yeah, I'm available to play. I want to play in Lobby at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But in the end, I mean, it could be and they're going to be out for a long period. I mean, you just heard Ange say it, they missed them two. He felt they looked a team with them two in it. They're settled with them in it, but I'm not sure they're the team what he thinks they are.
Good to talk, Tim. Thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, guys.
Tim Sherwood there. Let's get some post-match reaction from the Spurs dressing room. Here's Heung-min Son.
Well, Sonny, a day that started so well ends in such disappointment. If you can, just put that into words.
Yeah, he's a very, very disappointed. I think I don't know what to say at the moment, and making such a good game in the first half an hour, and and then we conceded their goals very, very sloppy and very easily, and also missed a big chance from my end. Feels like we lost because of this kind of small details, and of course that I take the big responsibility or blame, we're saying, and because in such a big stage you need to step up and you gotta have to score in this kind of big moments, and I feel like I let the team down, and feel very sorry for the team.
You mentioned first about perhaps the sloppiness, the mistakes that have led to the goals that you've conceded today. What do you put that down to this afternoon?
I mean, can't concede a goal like this, of course, 100%, and especially inside the box, you can't just dive in and in this kind of situation. But look, can stay here whole day talking about the mistakes, but I rather blame me about the chance, and as a leader, I will definitely take this blame.
Wow, that's a pretty emotional Heung-min Son.
That's one of the saddest interviews I've seen after a game from a player. And normally, you kind of compose yourself, as you know, but like it just looks like he can't hold it.
His body language said it all, didn't it?
Yeah, I think he's being very, very harsh on himself. I think he hasn't played as well as he knows he can do over the season, and he's had little magic moments. But I think he's putting it all on that chance that he had, and he feels like he's let the team down. I think that's a bit harsh. And there was other reasons why they've ended up losing the game other than that. But when you're emotional, he's absolutely gutted. You can see that, and he cares.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Dan, what's the answer when you're in a rut like this? What do the players need to do? How do they get themselves out of it?
Yeah, it's hard. I think you've got to use sort of your experienced players, your sort of big characters in that dressing room. Obviously, unfortunately, they've lost Romero, which I know Andrew spoke at length about how big he is for the team. But you need something. You just need a bit of energy. I think it can be very up and down. They could go and win next week, and everything will be rosy. So I think that's the problem. You don't need to stop the rot a little bit.
Yeah. Next game's in Europe, Glenn. Rangers.
That's going to be a tough one. I mean, they've got 3 centre-backs probably out that are not going to be available for that. So they're going to have to find, what back four they're going to... There's no chance of Ange maybe resting people not resting them, but you know what I mean? Sort of
suddenly every game's got real jeopardy there.
Oh, absolutely.
Southampton, even Wolves.
Yeah. I mean, that's the Premier League, though, for any team. Yeah. That's how it is this year. But you're right, Southampton away won't be easy for them.
No.
They'll probably play with a little bit more freedom, Southampton, at the moment. They've cut adrift a little bit. Yeah. They've got a chance to turn it round. And then you've got Man United in the League Cup. Liverpool don't come any harder than that. Forest are in form. They're all going to be tough games for them, especially if you're depleted your squad.
Well, Enzo, it's a really important victory for the fans. What does it mean to you to win that one today?
Yeah, for the fans, for us. I said already during the week that we work every day to make our fans happy, and today again they can be happy.
It's a difficult start, wasn't it? What was going through your head when you saw Cucurella slip not once but twice and then change his boots?
Yeah, he said to me after the game that he was trying to give a little bit emotion to the game. No, serious. Coming this stadium against this team, 2 goal down, and continuing with the same plan on the ball and off the ball. Then second half we adjust something tactically, we change something, but I think overall we deserve to win the game.
On the boots change, I know you're a manager that really believes in tough love with your players, honest conversations. Whilst you found a way to win today, are you frustrated that that is how it began and that the boots did have to be changed mid-game? It wasn't something that he'd noticed earlier?
I don't know, to be honest. It's more question for Mark. They are mature enough to decide the boost they need for the game. Can happen. As I said, the most important thing and the good thing about today is that we were 2 goals down, just we give away 2 goals, but we continue in the same way. We were in the game, we create chances, say first half, second half we didn't concede nothing and we create many chances.
The change you made at half-time proved to be important. Tell us what your thinking was.
No, first of all, we had a problem with Romeo Lavia, so Malo Gusto was inside. For Romeo, we moved Moy as a midfielder, and then we just changed a little bit the 2 attacking midfielder. That first half was Enzo and Cole, and second half we dropped a little bit Enzo next to Moy, and Marco Cucurella was the other attacking midfielder. And the change was good, and we won the game.
To clarify, what was the problem with Lavia?
He had hamstring problem. He felt something, but now it's okay. So we don't want to take any risk for players because, especially December, but with so many games, sometimes it's better to change and lose 45 minutes than lose 5-6 games.
We did wonder if it was anything to do with the elbow to the head that he'd had from Kulusevski. What was your take on that incident? Were you surprised to see it go unpunished?
I didn't see it, to be honest. I didn't see nothing, no for us, no for them. Just finish the game, had a chat with the players, and come here straight to you.
It was a great team effort to ultimately turn that round, but 2 more goals from the penalty spot from Cole Palmer. How much trust do you have in him in any situation, frankly, in front of goal, but particularly from 12 yards out?
Yeah, anyway, I know Cole from time ago. I really trust him in every aspect. First of all, because he's a fantastic boy, fantastic guy. And then, as I said already many times, he has to learn. He's learning how to play game when they mark him man-to-man. Bissouma was with him all the game. The one that first half was free was Enzo and second half Cucurella. But he's learning, he's improving, he's scoring goal, he's happy, and we are all happy.
You said this week you were convinced your team would get to this point where they are challenging at the top of the table, but perhaps not this quickly. They're showing no signs of slowing down, though, are they?
No, because the plan or the idea is don't allow them to slow down. And day by day, in every session, they cannot drop, because if one drop, the other one is in behind, ready to play, so they know that. See, today, Pedro Neto was fantastic. Last week, Noni Madueke doing the same. And this is what we need from all of them.
You say that it's going to be more time before you catch up with the likes of Manchester City, with Arsenal, but you're already doing what they're not. You are consistently winning games. That's proof, isn't it? That's evidence that you are already there in that conversation.
But probably Arsenal, City and Liverpool, they don't slide, you say, like Cucurella did.
Slide, yeah.
Slide.
Right.
So this is also, we are serious. For me, we are not ready. We are far from this team. But we are focused on the day by day, improve players, improve the team, and play the game. No more than that.
Okay. Congratulations, Enzo. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's all smiles, and you can understand why. Look at that run and that sea of green. In fact, the last time Chelsea were beaten.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, that seemed like a long time ago now, but are you surprised with how quickly those players and this manager have got to grips with the job at Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, very. Obviously, he did a great job at Leicester when he was there last year, but I am impressed with how quickly they managed to take on that information and put it out there. And if you're saying, just look at the squad, the subs that they made today, they've got so many players that can come on and change games and affect games, and the age of the squad as well. They're set up for years to come, so there should be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago. Many people were questioning their recruitment policy, and are they looking for success down the road or not? But they've got a manager in who seems very structured in the way he coaches his players.
Yeah, and he was very ruthless about the fact that he was going to ostracise certain players. Obviously, he's got the conference to play them in. And he was very much, I'm going to concentrate on these players. Now, they're doing well in the conference, and it seems to keep them happy. Like I was just saying to the gaffer, it depends. What happens in that tournament, once they go out of it, and then you've got all those players, who's going to be happy? Because players, when you're playing that well and it's starting to happen, you want to play. Yeah. You want to be involved in that. And so you have to see how that's going to affect the squad as they go down the table.
With your manager's hat on, what's impressed you the most about the way Maresca's business?
He's got a hell of a lot of talent there, but he's managed to actually say, like, whatever the player is, this is what we're going to do. Like, at half-time, he changed there. He said, that ain't working. We're all over the place defensively. We've given too many opportunities away. Let's change it. Caicedo, I always felt before, Son versus Caicedo, defensively, he wants to put him in midfield. That was a mistake for me. And then he's looked at that and he thought, that ain't working. Let's change it. Yeah. They go into a 3 at the back with the ball. They slide into a 4 when they're defending. And then Cucurella went into that midfield area, which he's done many times. So he's looked at that and he thought, yeah. And you can do that with great players. Because at the end of the day, if it's not working, you can take one off, somebody else goes on, and you don't lose that sort of 8 or 9 out of 10 performance. That is where Chelsea are at the moment. That's why they're in the title. They really are in the title race.
They are?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Of course they are. With so many teams giving so many goals away, Arsenal are probably the best side at the moment that have got the balance right between defending and attacking. Even Liverpool might actually at some stage, falter. So it's there for anyone to win it.
But didn't we see in the first half maybe why then might not be in the title race?
Yeah, but I just think, again, that would just come down to... I was just saying just in the break about an experienced defender, like when they got Thiago Silva. If they've got that kind of experience in that back four, then you're starting to look at a proper contender for going for the Premier League, simply because you look at the way they started that game. If they had an experienced defender, I can imagine someone like Tony Adams being that. And if people are passing the ball at that kind of level, he would lose it with them, and that's all they need now. That player in the dressing room.
I think you said it earlier. I feel long term to go really and be one of the favourites at the start of the season. I think they need the keeper sorted out.
Absolutely.
I think Sanchez is okay at certain games, but consistency to go right across the season, I think they need to improve there. But they're very close. We're talking about a team that are so close to getting a Premier League again, where 2 years ago you'd have laughed at that. Chelsea were all over the place and they couldn't pick a result up. But he's done a marvellous job.
He's got to get a lot.
Are they in the mix for you, Dan?
Yeah, I think so. I've looked at where they are in the league as well. I think they can still get better as well. As I said, I don't think today was probably a complete performance from them. Defensively, they've probably got things that they can work on. But they've got so many options that look so good going forward. Like every time they go forward, they look like they can score. So I feel like for me personally, I always like to see a settled back four, more just because you build relationships with players. You sort of know what people are going to do, but I do understand that they've had players who've been out a long time. Like for Fawn, I was out for a long time. So they do need to pass those minutes around. But I feel as if like Arsenal last year when they had Saliba, Gabriel, Ben White, that's like, had the best defence in the league, but they played every single minute and built that relationship. So that's what I think maybe they could improve on.
Actually, on that theme, the fact that he's got almost 2 11s, one in Europe and one in the Premier League, does he know his best starting 11, his strongest 11?
Listen, nowadays, everyone gets carried away with the best 11. If you've got a really strong squad like that, certain clubs, you'll go, I know my best 11. I don't think he knows what his best 11 is. What he has got, he's got people that are playing in the Conference League in Europe, so they're match sharp. And the FA Cup comes round, they're going to be playing in that. If they go a long way in that, they're match sharp. If someone gets injured long term, then they've got somebody to come in who's ready and match. If they go out of them tournaments, then he's got a problem to manage the squad.
Yeah.
Players want to play, as Dan said.
If you compare that squad, say, to Arsenal's, who they're in the mix with to try and catch Liverpool, we've seen the importance Odegaard is, Gabriel is, even William Saliba. If there is only with looking at the squad at Chelsea, there's only one player really they could really desperately not do without, and that's Cole Palmer. Is everybody else interchangeable?
I think so, yeah. I think you've only got to look at the squad to see players can come in and out. As I said, the subs that they made today were sort of like for like and very, very good players. You look at Madueke coming on, has had a very good season, starts on the bench, comes on, can make a difference. So, yeah.
I think Caicedo's getting himself into a situation in the midfield where he's somebody that would be very difficult to replace. As good as Lavia is, and Enzo is a different kind of player. I think you're right. I think Cole Palmer, probably Caicedo as well. And if Jackson carries on playing like he is, then he's going to be somebody that they'll probably struggle if he's not in and around it.
Nkunku's got 12 goals in all competitions.
Yeah, and you can't start in front of Jackson, so that's what he feels about him.
What a great situation to be in for a manager, you know?
Yeah.